Commander Zixtal's forearms trembled as he watched the security feed from Arena Platform 7. The massive Vorthak, apex predator of the Andromeda Rim, standing 12 feet tall with razor-sharp claws that could slice through starship hulls, had just been released from its containment pod. The creature's crimson eyes scanned the arena, its muscular form rippling beneath midnight black scales. This was the galaxy's most feared hunter, responsible for wiping out entire colonies on 3 different worlds, and they had thrown a human in there with it. "This is madness," whispered Dr. Kalara, her blue-tinted skin pale with horror. "The human has no weapons, no armor. It's barely half the Vorthak's size." Zixtal nodded grimly. The Galactic Council's newest members, these humans, had insisted on this demonstration after their application for military alliance was rejected. Too primitive, they'd been told. Too weak. Their homeworld of Earth housed soft, pink creatures who had barely achieved interstellar flight. What could they possibly contribute to a galaxy locked in war with the devourer swarms? The human in question, Dr. Sarah Chen, according to the manifest, stood calmly in the center of the arena. She was unremarkable by galactic standards: average height, brown skin, dark hair tied back in a simple ponytail. She wore only the standard-issue jumpsuit provided to all contestants. No fear emanated from her posture as the Vorthak's thunderous roar shook the observation deck. "Recording all biometrics," announced the arena's AI. "Contestant shows no elevated stress indicators. Heart rate steady at 72 beats per minute." "Impossible," muttered General Krex, his scales rattling with disbelief. "Every species in the galaxy experiences terror when facing a Vorthak. It's hardwired into our survival instincts." The Vorthak had noticed the human now. It approached with the fluid grace of a perfect killing machine, each step calculated to maximize intimidation. Its claws scraped against the metal floor, producing an ear-splitting screech that made several observers flinch. The creature's jaw unhinged slightly, revealing rows of teeth designed to tear through bone and sinew. Dr. Chen tilted her head, studying the approaching predator with what could only be described as curiosity. "Run, you fool," Dr. Kalara whispered, pressing her face against the reinforced viewing window. Instead, the human did something that defied every law of galactic biology, psychology, and common sense. She smiled. Not the rictus grin of a creature facing death, but a genuine, warm expression of joy. The human took a step toward the Vorthak, her movements slow and deliberate. She extended one hand, palm up, and made a soft clicking sound with her tongue. The Vorthak paused, its massive head tilting in what the observers recognized as confusion. In 3 million years of recorded galactic history, no sentient being had ever approached a Vorthak without weapons or at least protective barriers. "What is she doing?" General Krex's voice was barely a whisper. Dr. Chen continued her slow approach, speaking in a language none of the observers recognized, her native tongue presumably. Her tone was gentle, melodic, the kind of sounds a parent might make to a frightened child. The Vorthak's ear slits twitched and something impossible happened. The galaxy's most feared predator sat down. A collective gasp echoed through the observation deck. Vorthaks didn't sit. They paced, they stalked, they killed. They didn't lower themselves into a position that suggested submission, curiosity. The xenobiologist present began frantically taking notes, their scientific instruments going haywire. Dr. Chen was now close enough to touch the creature. The Vorthak's massive head was still above hers, its jaw capable of crushing her skull in an instant. Instead, those terrible jaws opened slightly and the creature made a sound none of them had ever heard before. A purr. The apex predator of the galaxy was purring. "By the 7 suns," Commander Zixtal breathed. The human reached up and placed her small hand on the Vorthak's snout. The creature's eyes, those burning crimson orbs that had been the last sight of countless victims, half closed in what could only be described as contentment. Dr. Chen began scratching behind what passed for the creature's ears, and the purring intensified. Impossible biometric readings, the Arena AI announced, its usually monotone voice carrying a hint of confusion. The Vorthak's stress hormones have dropped to baseline levels. Neural activity suggests a state of pleasure? Dr. Kalara's scientific mind was reeling. How is she doing this? What evolutionary advantage could possibly allow such behavior? The answer came from an unexpected source. Captain Johnson, another human who had been observing silently from the corner, stepped forward. With the amused expression, Dr. Chen specializes in animal behavior back on Earth, he explained casually. Before joining our space program, she worked with creatures we call big cats, lions, tigers, leopards, apex predators on our world. She's always had a way with dangerous animals. But the Vorthak isn't from Earth, General Krex protested. There's no evolutionary connection. Captain Johnson shrugged. Predator behavior follows certain patterns, apparently. Fear, dominance, territory, pack dynamics. These seem to be universal concepts. Sarah's theory is that truly dangerous creatures are often just misunderstood. In the arena, Dr. Chen had somehow convinced the Vorthak to roll onto its back, a position of ultimate vulnerability that the creature had never displayed in captivity. She was now scratching its armored belly, and the purring had reached volumes that vibrated through the station's superstructure. Commander Zixtal realized his mandibles were hanging open. Around him, the most experienced military minds in the galaxy wore similar expressions of shock. They had witnessed the impossible, a human taming the untamable through nothing more than patience, understanding, and what their species apparently called pets. The implications, Dr. Kalara whispered. If humans can do this with a Vorthak, what else are they capable of? Captain Johnson's smile widened. Well, Sarah once convinced a pack of Earthwolves to help her fix her broken transport. And there was that incident with the territorial bears. He paused thoughtfully. Oh, and she's the one who figured out why our livestock kept escaping. Their enclosures. Turns out they were just bored and wanted more interesting activities. General Krex's tactical mind was already spinning. The Devourer swarms use bio-warfare creatures, living weapons designed to cause maximum terror and destruction. Creatures that might respond to the right kind of handling, Commander Zixtal finished, his voice filled with dawning realization. In the arena, Dr. Chen had somehow produced what looked like a simple ball from her jumpsuit pocket. The Vorthak's eyes locked onto it with laser focus as she threw it across the arena. The galaxy's most feared predator bounded after it like an oversized puppy, its previous menacing demeanor completely forgotten. The observation deck fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity's application for military alliance had been rejected because they seemed too primitive, too soft. But perhaps the galaxy had misunderstood what strength truly meant. As Dr. Chen played fetch with a creature that had previously been considered an unstoppable force of destruction, Commander Zixtal began drafting a very different report for the Galactic Council. Sometimes, the greatest weapon wasn't a sword or a gun. Sometimes it was simply knowing how to make friends.